Okay, so we're here with Frank from Hatebreed. We all know Hatebreed, right? So the seven spiritual works of mercy is the thing that we will be doing today, discussing today. Frank, how about your religion? Are you religious?
Not really.
Not really. He's not really religious. Yeah. Okay.
So
That's it. Good. So don't be afraid. It is about religion, but not really. We're going to do this interview, structured this interview by means of the seven spiritual works of mercy. So, first one is admonish the sinner. Ever heard of that?
Nope.
No. So, in the early days of punk rock and hardcore bands, many performers wanted to get a specific message across about their opposing the ruling classes or any political issue. So, we wonder whether bands nowadays still admonish such sinners, like politicians and world leaders and stuff like that. So, do you think Hatebreed still lives up to those values? Or do you, for instance, try to get certain messages across to the audience by means of your lyrics or in other ways? Or
Well, I mean, we have positive overtones in our music and the lyrics for sure. I mean, judging by the band's name, you would never know that if you didn't know anything about us. But we're Jamie is. I mean, for a band that's in the metal scene, you don't really get a lot of positivity usually, and our lyrics are very uplifting and preach about real life situations and struggles and becoming a better person and things like that.
yeah. So you do admonish such some sinners, or
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. That might be taken a little bit too far. So.
yeah. But still, yeah. Okay. Thanks for that answer.
Yep.
The second one is to instruct the ignorant. So let's say the audience and I, in this case, are the ignorant. You guys are releasing your newest album in Europe in a few weeks, on the 25th of January. And I'm guessing, seeing that the name of the album is The Divinity of Purpose, that you in fact had a specific purpose while writing it. So question is, what is the message you want to get across with this new release, or what is the main idea behind it? So please instruct us.
Well, I mean, just, a lot of things happen for a reason in life, and you know, y- you know, later on when that actually happens, it's hard to ignore it or turn from it. So, I think it's about recognizing that, and hopefully it's a good situation rather than a bad one, and you can embrace it, and really that's it. That's the basis behind that title. So.
Yeah. Strong answer then. Okay. Third one is comfort the sorrowful. So we know Jamie set up a solo project in 2011 by the name of Jasta. Am I pronouncing that right?
Shasta, yeah.
Jasta. Okay, yeah. So I can imagine some of the Hatebreed fans might have been scared or sorrowful. Hatebreed would be set aside, or that the band would change their sound in the direction of the Jasta sound. So now we've listened to the first released track of the album, and it's safe to say, I think, that you comforted the sorrowful, because it definitely still sounds like the Hatebreed we know. But do you think Put It to the Torch, because that's the name of the first song, sets the tone for the entire album? Is there any reason? Yeah.
I think it does, absolutely. It's us just doing what we do best and being Hatebreed. I think on the last record, we experimented as far out as we want to do, and probably as our fans do too.
Yeah.
So I think this is us just getting back to doing what we do best, and it's a very straightforward record. It's very meat and potatoes, but it's also fresh. It's exciting time for us. It is, to have a new record out after 3 years, and the feedback's been wonderful, and we've been doing all kinds of press like this, and we hope that everybody enjoys it.
Yeah,
Yep.
we will enjoy it, I
Right.
think. Yeah. So there's no specific reason why you didn't choose to go like melodic or anything like that.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Okay. Yeah,
We
indeed.
when you go buy a record of a band that you love, you want it to sound like them, not something else. So
Yeah.
it has its metal songs on it, it has its hardcore songs on it. So we walk a fine line in between the two. So
Yeah.
we have to make a lot of people happy when we make a record. So it's very hard for us to get it right in there where we need it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Bear wrongs patiently is the fourth one. So in this world of music, it isn't always, this world isn't always kind to everyone.
Right.
You should know that probably. So have you ever had bad experiences on stage with like unenthusiastic audiences or with reviewers who had a lot of criticism on your albums?
Fortunately, we haven't had to deal with too much of that stuff. We're a very crowd-oriented band where we're getting the reaction and making people go crazy. I did have an incident once where we were doing some shows in between Christmas and New Year's in the States, and It was with Agnostic Front, and I was really sick. I had the flu, and I just remember it was really horrible playing the show. I was like, oh, I just got to get this over and go to bed. And I was sweating, and it was wintertime out and cold. So after the show was over, I was like hallucinating. I basically was so sick with the flu. I just want to go to bed. Well, I went outside, and there was just a short area, maybe from like how you walked from that door into here, that distance, where I was walking to the bus, and I slipped on ice, and I fell and broke my leg. Yeah, it was terrible, and then the tour had to end, even though it was the short little week in between Christmas and New Year's. I broke my leg, and then I was sick on top of it. I was like, oh, it was terrible, and I had to, we were in Connecticut or wherever in New York, and I had to go to the hospital there and get a cast on, and then fly home with the cast and the crutches. Wow. And I lived upstairs, and I had to deal with the crutch. It was terrible.
Yeah, it couldn't be any worse.
Yeah, I mean that's probably pretty much the worst thing that happened has so far. So I hope that nothing like that happens again.
Yeah, I'm hoping for you as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Then the fifth one. Forgive all injuries. So in the, even recent past, Hatebreed has been wrongly accused of things, but we're not going to elaborate on that. The question I'd like to ask in that regard actually is it easy for you to get through such circumstances or difficult times together and therefore forgive the people who wrongly injure you in that case? Do you think it makes you stronger as a band? Or?
Yeah, I mean but we can also be spiteful people, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that in our line of work, there's a lot of people, especially from the hardcore scene, that don't approve of what we're doing and being a metal band and playing with metal bands and things like that. And it's just a shame for them because we haven't changed anything about us. We're the same people. We play the same kind of music. It just so happens that it's a wider audience, and I understand that when you hold something close to your heart and it's like it's your little thing that nobody knows about, and then it gets popular and like, oh, it's ruined for you.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to forgive people that act like that, but that's just one little situation and one little circumstance, and I think for the most part that we did have a problem with CNN in the States of they misprinted us in the article as a white supremacist band, and we just went at them hard, and our fans did, and they obviously took the name off. And it's unfortunate that someone didn't do their homework like they were supposed to, and then they threw our name in there, and we really made a fool out of him in the end. So, I think that
so you win.
I win. So I don't know. There's room to forgive. I mean, hate is a strong word, and it's hard for me to say that I hate anybody, and as I get older, I've certainly learned to forgive people more than I may have 20 years ago.
Okay, thanks. 2 more questions. Pray for the living and the dead. That's the 6th one. So this year, I presume we've lost 2 of the punk scene's prominent musicians, Tony Sly from No Use for a Name and Mitch Lucker of the band Suicide Silence. So this may be a weighty question. I don't know. You can choose to answer it or not. So 7 years ago, I know the band lost a member as well, or a former band member at least. So, I know you just recently, not recently, in 2006 joined the band, but do you know how the band processes something like that? Do you share your emotions through your songs, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We dedicate Last Breath every night to the people we've lost, and our friends, and the families, and in the metal and hardcore community, and even, obviously Lou, who's not with us anymore.
So he's still a little bit part of the band because of that?
Well, kind of, I mean, there was a lot of things going on with him and his personal life, and, that, especially since he was, been in the band since, like, the beginnings of Hatebreed, so, obviously there's friendship there that goes way more with Jamie and Chris, who are the 2 other original people, than it does with myself. So, the people that have moved on are in our thoughts and prayers. And we just lost another friend in Detroit, our friend Daryl, tattoo artist, had 4 kids and stuff. So it's tough, The thing about it, I was telling to somebody just yesterday, in our line of work, we know so many people. And when you know so many people, you obviously, when somebody passes away, it's more than probably your average person that just lives in the town and only knows their family and maybe 100 people, or 20 people or whatever it is. So we're dealing with stuff like this constantly, and obviously as we get older as well.
Yeah.
So, so those people are definitely in our thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think the older you get, you realize that who's really close to you and what means the most, and it becomes your family. And your friends, obviously your close friends too. So.
When friends become family.
That too, and something like this, like Agnostic Front H2O and these bands on here, Acacia's Train, we all know each other. We've all toured with each other together. So we take this time to be together and catch up with each other and have a great time, and it means a lot. It does. It's good to see everybody, because you don't see everybody all the time. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. I hate to say that, but it's true. So.
Okay. Last question. Counsel the doubtful. That's the last one. Last spiritual work of mercy. So many young or beginning bands see you as their example. Do you have any counsel for them, maybe, as to how they can live their dream like I imagine you are doing right now?
Well, the thing about it, I was telling somebody in an interview yesterday, it's very hard nowadays for the younger bands because it's a lot different. People aren't buying CDs, and they can go online and get them for free. And I guess when you're a young band and starting out, that's probably good because it gets your name out there, but it's certainly not, getting the interest of the people maybe that you need to as far as the industry is concerned. It's tough. I mean, for us, we've had that point where we became successful, and it was on us to make smart decisions from that point to now, and that's what I credit our success to be, is making very smart decisions. If you start a band and you're doing well and you're playing everywhere you can play and playing with who you can, and you end up getting to that point where you have to make that tough decision of, is this what I want to try to put everything into in my life? Because when you do, you have to give up your home life, your job, your family, and that's what we do. We miss weddings, we miss births, we miss funerals because of this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So if it's something you really want to do for a living, then go for it, but also realize that if you do get to that point, there's consequences. I have people at home in my life tell me all the time, oh my God, you got it made, you have a 1 in a million job, and there's so many people out there trying to do what you do. And then I have people that tell me, I don't know how you do that. I could never do what you do. Not sleeping in your bed hardly ever, not seeing your family and all that, not seeing your kids and things like that. So
the grass is always greener on the other side, right?
I love it. I'm happy what we're doing. I enjoy my time on the road, and I enjoy my time at home. But I think for a young band that's just starting out, you have to get your name out there. You have to play anywhere you can with any band. It doesn't matter if there's 3 people at the show. You got to have your heart's got to be in it, and you got to realize that if you get to that point, you have a lot of sacrifices to make as well.
So actually, to each his own, probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then, Frank, I really want to thank you for this interview. It's been very interesting.
My pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Glad we were able to make it happen.
I torch it all without a single shred of remorse.